All right, Algebra 1, we are on the third topic of our chapter, Chapter 4. We're talking about standard form. So standard form is this form right here. And a lot of the time we have people asking, why do we use standard form if we have other forms of the equation? Well, standard form makes it very easy for us to pick out the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And if we can get the x and y-intercept, it makes graphing a line very easy. Okay? So, standard form is ax plus by equals c, where obviously we have x and y, and then a has to be positive. Okay, it's got to be a positive number, and it's got to be an integer. Now, when I say an integer, I mean, here, let's just write that to the side here. An integer, a little reminder of what an integer is a non-fraction. Can't have any fractions as that first one. So it's got to be positive. It's got to be positive, and it's got to be a whole number. Okay? So not a fraction. All right? And then b is allowed to be negative or positive. So it could be ax minus by, but it does also have to be an integer. So non-fraction. Okay? And then same thing here. C is going to be an integer as well. Okay? So no fractions. No fractions are allowed in standard form. So to get it into standard form, we might have to subtract, we might have to add some things, and we might have to change some signs, and in some cases, we might have to get rid of fractions. Okay? So let's look at a few examples here. So it says, write each linear equation in standard form. So basically what you want is to get the x and y on the left side of the equal sign. Constant on the right. Get your constant on the right. Okay? Get the x and y on the left side, constant on the right. Okay? So, for number 1, right now I have the y on the left side. I need to get this x on the left side. So add 4x, and now we have 4x plus y equals 8. Okay, so double check. We've got positive in front, positive integer. This is an integer as well. It's an invisible 1, so if you want to put 1 there, you can. It's up to you. And then an integer on the last one. Okay? And so that's standard form. There's nothing else we need to do there. That's standard form. We're done. So same thing here. I need to get x and y on the left side. So x is already over there, but I need 9y to be over there as well. So in this case, what I need to make sure of is not only am I getting 9y over there, but here I'll just write 8 plus 3x plus 9y equals, and then nothing's left over here, so it's just 0. Now, I've got x and y on the left side, but I need the constant on the right side. So I've got 3x plus 9y equals negative 8. I've got a positive, not fraction, and we're done. Final answer. Standard form. Okay? So same thing here. For number 3, I've got x and y both on the left side, and constant on the right. Now, here's the problem. I've got a negative in front. So what we do when we have a negative in front is basically we're dividing everything by -1. But really all we have to do is change all the signs. Change all the signs. So this becomes positive 3x minus 5y equals positive 9, and we're done. Okay? So if you want to change this sign, you need to change all the signs. Okay? And that's easy as that. So let's go to the bottom here. We have a few fractions. So if you ever have a fraction, just like we've done in the past, to get rid of a fraction, we multiply by the bottom. Well, that's the same thing here. I'm going to multiply the bottom number to everything. Just like changing the sign for everything, I got to multiply the bottom number to everything. So multiply by 4, multiply by 4, multiply by 4. In this case, the 4's just cancel and I'm left with 1x. In this case, negative 12 times 4 is negative 48. Y equals 1 times 4 is 4. So look at our answers. We've got a positive not fraction. We've got a not fraction, and we're done. That's our standard form. X and Y on the left, constant on the right. I always want to start with X. So number 5, same thing. Look at what's on the bottom. A 5. So I need to multiply by 5 to get rid of it. Well, again, I got to multiply that 5 to everything. So 5 times y. These two cancel, and I'm left with 3x. And then plus 5 times 5 is 25. Now let's get everything on the correct side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3x to the left side. And everything else is staying put. So negative 3x plus 5y equals 25. So I've got x and y on the left side, and we're almost done, but remember, we want a positive in front. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to a positive, which means change everything. So that changes to negative, and this changes to negative as well. And there's standard form. Okay? So the last one on that page, once again, we have a 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 1x is left over equals 2y. Now, I'm going to get the x's and y's on the left, constants on the right. So I'm going to subtract 4, get that constant out of there. Got negative 1x or positive 1x equals 2y minus 4. And let's get the y over to the other side with the y. So I've got 1x minus 2y equals negative 4, and we're done. That's standard form. No fractions, positive in front, and we're done. So go to the back side here, and we have covering up a term to find the intercept. This is the main reason why we have standard form. Okay? So when you have standard form, the point at which the line intersects the x-axis is called the x-intercept. So x-intercept in this case would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the x and y value. Okay, so for example, identify the x and y intercept of the graph shown at the right. X equals 8, y equals 8. Okay. So to find that, we got to go ahead and cover up the other one. Okay. And so how that works is we go ahead and look at our graph, and I'm going to cover up the one I'm not really looking for. Okay. So the first one I'm going to cover up is the y. So what I'm left with is x equals 3. And then I'm going to cover up the x. And what I'm left with is positive y equals 3. So when I'm covering up, I'm really just covering up with my thumb. But since you can't see my thumb, I'm just covering it up with the writing real quick. Okay, so x equals 3. I'm going x is 1, 2, 3 right here. Y is 1, 2, 3 right here. And then I just draw my line. straight through those points. And so there's my line. That's all there is to it. To graph a line, sometimes you can just go ahead and cover up the x to find the y, cover up the y to find the x. So same thing here. I've got cover up the y, I get negative 4x equals 20. Okay, and cover up the x, and I get positive 5y equals 20. And so all I have to do now is go ahead and divide, solve. So x equals negative 5, 20 divided by negative 4. Divide by 5 for that, we get y equals 4. So let's graph. X is negative 5, so left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And y is 4, so up 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I've got my line going through those 2 points, and there's my graph. Okay, that's all there is to it. So let's go ahead and finish it out. Might as well here. So I've got 9x equals 45. If you want, you can just go ahead and find the first one and then cover up the x to find the y. So 45 divided by 5 is 9. Oh, sorry, I mixed that up. Divided by 9. 45 divided by 9 is 5. And so now we're doing the same thing, but keep in mind, I am not covering up the sign on the 15. So this is negative 15y equals 45. So divide by negative 15, and I end up with negative 3. So let's graph. The x is 5, so right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right here. And then negative 3 is down 1, 2, 3 right here. And there's my, there's my graph. Boom, boom. And the last one here, cover up the y to get 2x equals 8. So when I divide by 2, x equals 4. And then I cover up the 2x, I get negative y equals 8. So I got to divide by negative 1, get y equals negative 8. So let's graph. X is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the y value is negative 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down at the bottom. And so graph our line. There we are. That's finding the intercepts. So next we're going to talk about vertical and horizontal lines and then linear equations with word problems. Peace.